This is not my first recording of this game. February 1 turn resolution, I believe, is the first recording. However, and here the Dutch start the hostilities with torpedoing a cargo ship there in the Gulf of Siam. So that's probably going to be a goner. Three torpedo hits. On fire, heavy damage. Troops were on there, so we'll see how that does. I apologize for the music, and I've turned the sound, I hope, down so that it won't be so annoying, and hopefully it's not. The later in as we played, I guess the music was brought to 0. I don't know why it's going now, but anyway. I'm going to hit continue. What I was going to end there, it goes, it sank, that cargo ship laden with troops. So I decided let's go back to the very first turn and start recording resolutions there. There's a few reasons for it, but I'll tell you primarily it's, in my mind, it's because of, there's, well, actually 2 reasons in my mind. One, to kind of, for my own sake, I want the history of the game, so let's record these early turns. I think it's kind of cool how it plays out, and if I'm the only one that gets enjoyment out of these recordings, that's fine with me. The other reason is because as I learned better ways to record for sound, my earlier videos that I recorded from February 1 for a few of the first days, terrible sound. The battle sounds were way too loud, and my voice was comparatively quiet, so you might blow your ears out watching those videos. So I'm going to start over with December 7. We'll work our way up to early February, and then where the quality starts improving, I'll leave those as they are. But here's how it's going to look. So as a viewer, you're going to see these videos, and of course this is the bombing of Pearl Harbor. Sorry to ramble on over that battle, but I plan to record basically a handful, roughly 45 plus or minus minutes per recording of multiple resolutions at once. Depending on how epic a resolution is, I may do a very short post-turn analysis, but otherwise I'll just be hammering out resolutions and each video for the first 2 months. I'll say the first 2 months of the war. Each video will mostly be just a handful of turn resolutions all at once. So with that said, we'll get on with this. Right here, of course, as you would expect, and then let me also back up and say TF-1377, my opponent, we have 2 rules. 1, historical first turn, and 2, you can't, well, three house rules. This is really, I don't know if this is a house rule or not, but we're doing the historical first turn, historical December 7. We're doing, you can't move troops across land boundaries unless you have bought the troops out, if they're restricted. And then the other thing is sweeps. You can't be higher than the second best maneuver band for altitude. So that said, you're seeing a lot of damage, a lot of things happening here, as historically would have happened. A lot of aircraft hits, base damage, including port, and ships being heavily beat up. So that said, let's get through this because This is a lot of aircraft, and as you can see, even with it sped up, it's still taking a long time. We lost some smaller boats. Wow. So we did lose the a cruiser, a light cruiser, and a battleship. Now you could see here, we did beat up the aircraft a little bit, not a lot, but the Zeros especially. And let's see. I mean, look at this. 139 damaged Catalinas. Okay. So I'm gonna... Okay. The Nevada, 5 bomb hits, but the torpedo hits is what sank it. And then the California took heavy damage. Arizona, not so much. So as opposed to historical, Arizona came out with not so bad, not such a bad situation. Some of these ships, like the Mauna, 1 bomb hit. The light cruiser Phoenix, 1 bomb hit, but it was sunk. It was sunk. So, I mean, what are you gonna do? But yeah, a lot of hits here, a lot. So this PT-20, 1 bomb hit, probably just obliterated it. And look at this damage, the base damage. Runway hits 99. This is pretty epic. So anyway, let's continue. There's a lot to happen in December 7th. This may be a standalone video, but we'll see. Now, this P-26A is not going to be able to fight off 31 Zeros. Now, it did get away with just being damaged, but let's just go through. This is the bombing of Iba, and looks like no effect. Alright, now I think it's an airfield. Yeah, airfield attack. Okay. And Iba being attacked again. Now we have a few more P-26s up, but and only quote unquote only 6-0. But we just saw one of our P-26s getting destroyed, and another one, and third time's the charm. Yep. Okay. So let's see if this bombing raid does better, and it did already. I saw. So we lost, of course, the P-26s in the air. Actually, 3. We lost at least 1 P-40 on the ground, and then he also hit the base. Now, Clark Field is, of course, as historical, it's going to be bombed. And we have 1 P-40. Now, because of the surprise turn, we don't have a lot of... The cap isn't going to be very successful. And... let's see, a lot of, like, hits on aircraft part there, as well as the base itself. So, yeah, a B-17D, these are invaluable. So, okay. This is all expected. It's going to happen. Nothing we can do about it. The best we can do is, how can we recover from these raids? It looks like we're going to lose some ships here at Davao. And this is a port strike. The William B. Preston, I don't think we can save it, but maybe it just is on fire. Maybe we can put the fires out and get it out of there. So we've got, again, surprise. So Buffalo is trying to fight off 30 Nates. These look like they're in a bombing formation, otherwise they'd be in the front. So that's interesting. Oh wow, our Buffalo actually got a kill. Nice. Good job. So I wonder what these Nates are going to be doing. I don't think sweeps are in the back here. Okay. Yeah. So I was right. So the nates are flying in low, strafing and bombing, uh, getting some hits on our aircraft parked at Kota Baru. All right. So at least one Hudson destroyed on the ground, and some decent hits on the airbase. Okay. Lilies bombing. I already forgot the name of this base. Well, Tugu Garau. Tugue Garau. I don't. Just some basics there. I don't think we have any planes there to hit. 52 sallies, and there's no reason to worry about sweeps or escorts because this is surprise. We're surprised. So here we go. All right, a pretty good haul here. Also damaging our troops on the ground and base hits that, you know, somewhat tripled the airbase there. Okay. So follow-up raid, well, 25 lilies. He does have escort here. And some more damage to both aircraft and the runway. Now he's bombing Chinese troops here in, looks like northeast China. We got a disabled non-combat squad. This is a pretty decent sized raid, bombing Hong Kong, as he's going to try to take that early in the campaign. Again, historical. And we do have a few buffaloes that are scrambled to take out these sallies, who are unescorted. So we can give it a minute and see how they do. Alright, it looks like they're not going to do too well. I don't remember the quality of these early squadrons, the quality of the pilots. And all they're able to get is some damage. Now we do have a few more came up to help intercept. Hey, they got one. So they're going to release their bomb load, damage, and probably do some decent damage to the runway as well. And I just saw one was destroyed, so he lost one destroyed Sally. It looks like, let's say these are probably not the actual results, but similar, 1 destroyed each and 5 damage each. Our airbase took some damage as well. Alright, rate of sallies after the nates hit Kota Baru. We've got some sallies coming in. An additional 12 damaged Hudsons and damage to the base. Okay, some more bombing on Chinese troops, it looks like. And we're trying to intercept these bombers, although we're not able to get up high enough and the Repulse and Prince of Wales are being attacked by air. And it looks like a Nell got a torpedo, a unit of Nells got a torpedo into the Prince of Wales. At least one torpedo. Another torpedo in the Prince of Wales. At least we're damaging these air units, but I mean, what is that going to do if they... And then a third torpedo, again, at least a third torpedo. Maybe a fourth. And maybe a fifth. Yeah, that's not going to be doing so well. Again, this is historical, of course, but it's always nice when you can get out of there without losing your ship. And the Repulse has been hit at least twice with torpedoes. Third time at least. Fourth time. Yeah, that's... Oh, fifth time. That's... Both are... Sixth time. Yep, Repulse just sinks outright. So, let's take a look here. So, the Repulse, 6 torpedo hits. Oh, both. So, I didn't notice when the Prince of Wales went down, but they're both sunk. See, they didn't even get distracted by any of our escorts, so they were very focused. Just nailed the biggest boats out there. Okay. A lot of recon, it looks like. And our boat, well, look, the float planes that were on those ships have tried to divert to safe harbor, safe locations. Supposedly shot down a Japanese scout plane. I think better term is float plane. Okay. Some follow-up, Betty's and Nell's coming to the spot of Force Z. The Buffaloes that were flying over earlier are trying to do their best, although, you know, would have been nice an hour or two earlier, how, you know, whatever that looked like, the timing of that. But they are shooting some of these down, but it's too late to help the 2 capital ships. Alright, looks like they're tearing up these unescorted bombers. I'm going to push through here, and it was probably almost over anyway. But they're going to aim for these destroyers, which are going to be a lot harder to hit. But let's see how it plays out. Well, we did lose one, because one torpedo is going to sink something that small. We shot down a few of his bombers, though. I'd rather have the destroyer, probably. Okay, and now he's bombing Clark Field. Again, historical. And we take some damage on aircraft there at the base, as well as the runway. And, oh, right, we have some destroyers parked off of Hong Kong that his Sallies have decided to try to bomb, but they come away without damage. Okay, so um, looks like the British have decided let's bomb the Japanese ships off of Kota Baru, and they were escorted there, but completely missed and even lost a Hudson due to flak. But it looks like they're coming back. 3 more Blenheim 1Fs and Buffaloes to escort, 10 Buffaloes to escort. Now, against Nates, the 10 Buffaloes should do okay, but there's also more Nates, so we'll see. So according to this, really nothing came of it, because at some point it looks like we called it off because it wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth chancing it. We didn't knock out enough of the Nates and so forth. Alright, 9 Nels unescorted, right back at Force Z. The Buffaloes didn't do anything about it, and we'll see if the Nels can take out another destroyer. Now, somehow we have enough flak to damage some of these aircraft, so, but they don't get any torpedoes in on these guys this time. Okay, so air phase is completely done, and he's so this is historical. He has some destroyers that are bombarding Midway Island. Okay, do a little minor damage and then go on their way. Alright, this is his invasion force at Kota Baru, so he's bombarding as he unloads troops, and he loses a few on the beaches here, but we also take some damage to the guns. Okay, more unloading, and some units get lost in the surf or accidentally lost while unloading. Here's Bataan Island and north of Luzon, and he's gonna take that base. Okay. Alright, and as this is, I guess, an atoll, he's doing a shock attack and he'll have it. It's undefended. Okay. I guess that's it. I might take a minute to talk about this turn because it's the first turn, but I'll try to be brief. Now, it's been so long since I've watched this video that it's almost like I'm watching it new again. But being a historic first turn, it's not much of a surprise going on here. Looks like we got some reinforcements at Pearl. But I'll talk about a few things before I close this video. And we're getting some reinforcements at various locations as they mobilize and get ready for this war. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so after Pearl Harbor bombing, we can see the results of this, and some of these ships, well, the Farragut is still on fire. We got some fires on these smaller ships, well, this AV and this Minesweeper aircraft tender, and but the Farragut has to put this fire out before it can be repaired. Here's the thing, I mean, it's not a big deal that I didn't scuff. I'll just tell you right now, you'll see in later video I didn't scuttle this. The victory value is 5. I think the best we could have hoped for is by scuttling make it a 4, but it sinks because the fires just never get put out and the flood damage is too high and it sinks. Um, Spoiler alert, sorry about that. But anyway, the lead ship in its class. Uh, Very good class. All right. So the other thing is, um, I mean, you could see the battleships just all heavily damaged. The Maryland, especially the Arizona, ironically enough, actually comes out pretty okay. But you can see that some of this high flotation damage. It's going to be a while. These already take forever to repair anyway. Uh, so right here, the Oklahoma, for example, because of I mean, it's got weapons systems damage. It's literally lost the front. What is that? The front turret? Yeah, front, and some of its uh, side side guns. What are they? Dual purpose? Anyway. Um, but it's all doable. It's just that it's going to take a really long time to get these back in shape. So I'm going to tell you a couple things. So first of all, we could see the serious damage of the base. Our engineers get to work immediately, and it's it's well on its way to being repaired. But we have right here 87 out of 234 aircraft are ready. Everything else is just beat up, damaged. Um, the Keto Butai is, of course, sitting here north of Pearl. That's a concern because we can't do anti-sub activity until they move on because we don't want to take a chance there. Now we have carrier forces, one here and one here, um, and I mean almost in range. Now, what will Keto Butai do? So I'll tell you, we literally go. I don't know. I think I might even keep this same move, um, but I put the what is this? Lexington? Yeah. I put the Lexington also moving up here. So both carriers are going to come up around midway because I don't know what he's going to do. I opt to go north instead of south, okay? So I could go south, let's say Johnston and Palmyra or whatever down here, and then circle back. But I opt to go north, and you'll see next turn resolution what impact that has. But I bring my ships up this way, and yeah, I'll explain further when that happens. I mean, when we do that resolution. But other than that, really all this turn is setting everything up for initial go. Uh, Getting convoys going, troops moving where they need to be, aircraft. Australia, I shuffled some guys around to get them at key important bases, thinking already about reinforcing Port Moresby. And also, I start pulling guys, not here, I think I just start pulling this company off of Kavieng. Um, and of course, Java is just a matter of possibly shuffling troops and aircraft and preparing for the Japanese invasions up here and also Sumatra. And most critically, Malaya. So Malaya, it's about getting. Do we want speed bumps? Do we want to rush everyone back to Singapore? what are we going to do here? And as we go through the resolutions, hopefully I can share some of my thoughts on this. I will tell you, I opted for the speed bump strategy, and I think that backfired on me. We held up in Kuala Lumpur, it's Jungle Hex, um, because I didn't want to go to Temulo. Well, I used both of these as speed bumps. But I didn't want to put everything in this basket because then he could just bypass me down this road, and then we'd be stuck here still. But so tried to block both of these roads, and it didn't have the effect that I wanted. It may have. It just he and you'll see as the game as it proceeds. Shuffling of units here in Burma, and also getting supply convoys here because we gotta make sure Rangoon is supplied, as well as get supply up these roads and into China. And then, of course, China is a matter of deciding where am I going to hold and where can I get out of Dodge before he starts cutting pockets out. So that's something I had to start considering. And then India is more shuffling, prepping supplies, start base building and all that. So yeah, that's December 7. And next we could talk about the resolution for December 8. And I probably won't stop and talk about these very much unless there's some crazy thing happens that stands out and needs to be further analyzed. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Take care, everyone. Bye. Hey, by the way, as an addendum, kind of, I realized I didn't show the cost of that turn, so I wanted to circle back and look at that to show you, and of course, again, myself for future. So actually, the Japanese lost 48 aircraft, which isn't very much, especially compared to ours, like double that. Let's see, 112, 13, 116, so more than double theirs. But again, just wanted to show you that, most of which were on the field, 106. Lost a little bit of operational. Not much air-to-air because we didn't have much flying. So if we take a look here, we can see how much the Japanese lost themselves. And it looks like a lot of flak. I think this was over Pearl Harbor. And of course, we lost 24 PBY-5s, which aren't made very quickly. So this will be hard to replace. The P-40Bs, I don't think I get any replacements. So those are kind of precious. SBD-1s are outdated. B-18 Bolos, those are outdated as well. Let's see, he lost some Bettys, 5 air-to-air, 1 to flak, 1 tops. Vals, 6 to flak, that must be over Pearl also. We can just take a look here, and 3 Kates to flak. Ops, he lost 3 zeros, and then a smattering of 1 each down here. Of course, we lost a Blenheim and a Warhawk. So yeah, that's that. We lost 3 P-26s, and so yeah. So this is turn 1. This is the very beginning. You can kind of see how it started, and there you go. Alright, now, I don't think we lost. Hey, we did. Okay, so we lost these 2 groups because of the sinking of these 2 ships sinking. And then apparently we couldn't get our Seagulls or Kingfishers off of the 2 other ships that sank in Pearl Harbor. Alright, speaking of, Oh, and now we don't have much going on here to begin with anyway, but we actually got some kills in that turn, mostly because of those Bettys and so forth that we shot down. But you'll see here, we lost 9 killed pilots, 11 wounded, and 2 missing. All right, one more thing. We'll look at ships sunk. So this was not a terrible, okay, it was terrible points wise, but 202 and then 157, 40, and then we actually sank this. This was the first ship sunk of the war, and it was by the Dutch, who apparently felt the need to start the whole thing. Anyway, so again, just wanted to look at this as well. So yeah, that's the situation for the first day of the war. We um, we lost. Okay, let's go back here. We lost 9 ships, and it totaled 621 points because again, 3 of those were high point ships, actually 4, and then he lost one for 14. So that's that. Um, so there you have it. Um, take care. We're about to we're next going to talk about the December 8 turn resolution. And again, like I said earlier, we'll go through a couple of days. If something stands out, I'll take a break and talk about it. All right. Take care. Bye.